flowing, nothing happening except some streams. And this is great literature, but it's poor, poor science, poor cosmology. That's not the way it happened. The first one is closer to the way things happened, much better cosmology. In fact, the first one, it would stand up pretty well today if you read it. It's a kind of evolution, really. Okay, it's a day and a night because they want to stitch the most important holiday into the fabric of the universe, the Sabbath, so that on the seventh day God will rest in this presentation. So that's why we rest. So it's a cosmology with a moral. So I don't like all that. You know, I like Darwin. Okay, you can have Darwin, but there's no morality in Darwin, which is why we got Nazis. You know, that may be the universe, an immoral universe where animals just rip each other to shreds and everyone just eats whatever they can. People eat gorillas and monkeys and all kinds of things, even though they're sentient animals, and you know, and so on and so forth. And people are horrible creatures that rip everything up, and they all rip everything up. It's just a horrible dog-eat-dog survival of the fittest universe that somehow evolves. Okay, that's Darwin. That's probably true. I'm not against Darwin, but I'm saying the first narrative is similar evolution, but it's a little more elegant in the sense that it stitches God into it, and it has a rest period involved. So it says that's why you should rest. So in other words, now I don't know any of you who want to just keep working and not have a rest day. So no one can have a complaint about the first narrative or the Hebrew Sabbath, Shabbat, at all. Because everyone, now we just not only have one rest day, we usually take two now. But in the old days, they didn't have any. So your rest day, you owe to the Hebrews, whether you like it or not. Yeah, because they made it a holy day. And they celebrated creation, and they stitched into the whole creation story. So, you know, that's a pretty elegant presentation of cosmology, the first one. The second one isn't. But if you read the second type of stories, Adam and Eve story, which no one ever forgets, and so on, Cain and Abel, the Yahwist is a very quick writer. He or she sketches the thing out and then gives you the punchline quickly. But an actual great writer would be a great Hollywood script writer. The Elohist would be a terrible Hollywood script writer. The Yahwist is a great script writer. But what happens is someone in the Noah story stitches two different narratives together. Part of it is Yahwist, part of it is what we call Elohist, and so on and so forth. And you can pick this out if you actually look carefully enough. You can see where the contradictions, there are contradictions in the Noah narrative because someone has stitched two parallel narratives into one, like taking the Gospel of John and the Gospel of Mark, stitching them into a single gospel. You know, and interspliced them. But for the person who stitched them together, you see, we can unstitch them if you're clever. Not I, but people have done this pretty easily. We can unstitch them, and then it works fine as two separate narratives without the contradictions. I can't do that for you now. But one of the best stories for that is the Joseph story. One narrative line has Reuben is the hero. Reuben is the guy, the oldest brother. How many know the Joseph story? It's beautiful. It's a Yahweh story on the whole, but there's some Elohist stuff thrown in. In any case, Reuben is the oldest brother, and he doesn't want to kill Joseph. The other brothers want to kill Joseph, if you remember. Here comes the little bastard. You know, he thinks he's better than us. He's having dreams where we serve him. We're going to teach the bugger. You know, he's wearing our dad's coat, this beautiful many-colored coat. We're going to teach him. Good. So they get a hold of the little bugger, and then Reuben says, no, don't kill him. That would be a terrible sin. And Reuben has it in his heart to go back and save him. So they throw him into a well on Reuben's recommendation. What Reuben wants to do is go and save him. So that's a story heroicizing Reuben as trying to stop this thing. But then there's another thing spliced into it, which has Judah is the one who actually tells them, sell them to the Midianite merchants. So we've got two different lines where Judah says, no, don't kill him, sell them to the Midianite merchants. Or Reuben says, put him in the well. But the weird thing, you see, is that in the story as we have it, because it's two spliced together as one, Reuben then goes back to look for him, and he isn't there anymore. But, you know, the point of the matter is that Judah had already recommended to sell him to the Midianite merchants. So the story finally ends up, the Ishmaelites or something like that take him out of the well, according to the, it's really a mess. What happened in the one narrative line is that the Ishmaelites come, take him out of the well, so when Reuben goes back, he isn't there. So one narrative line has Ishmaelites and Reuben. The other narrative line has Midianites and Judah. And they've been spliced together in a single whole that has contradictions in it. So you say, well, how do you know that? Well, because we study it. But you don't know it, because your church and seminary isn't going to tell you this. Not that they should or shouldn't, they have a different aim. They want to teach inspiration, excitement, solidarity, and high-mindedness. That's fair enough. They don't want to spread dissension. We're not teaching inspiration, high-mindedness, spirituality. We're just teaching use your brain. And that's what we're supposed to do at a college, at a university, because we're Descartes' gift to the world, subject everything to universal doubt. What did Descartes do? He said, I'm going to doubt everything. That's how I'm going to start my system above the universe. Descartes is a very great man, isn't he? What did he invent? The calculus. He and Newton invented the calculus with Leibniz in the 17th century. The calculus, if you use it, is an incredibly powerful tool. You can put spaceships up with a calculus, and everything else, because it's really an incredibly, well, this guy said, I'm going to have a new system called the Cartesian system. That's where we get Cartesian coordinates and all that. And I'm going to subject everything to universal doubt. But there's one thing that I can't doubt. What was that? That I'm sitting here doubting. So, and he put this into a little formula. Cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I exist. And as I think I may have said to you, if I didn't, I should have, maybe last time, you could say, I sneeze, therefore I exist. I could be even more vulgar and say something more horrible. Because as long as you put I into the first clause, you've already got what you conclude in the second clause. So the fact that you've already announced I, doing something, sneezing, thinking, going to the bathroom, whatever, then the fact that you exist is a deduction that you cannot doubt. It's a tautology, if you like. And that's what, but since Descartes was growing up in an elegant universe, he wanted the most elegant thing he could think of, that is thinking. And that's very what? Aristotelian. Why? Because for Aristotle's cosmology, if you've ever studied the metaphysics, you would know that Aristotle saw the first cause, or what we later call God and other civilizations, as what? Thought, contemplating thought.